With cryptos showing a nice sign of a bounce, the optimism has returned to the market. People are starting to get bullish and maybe even allow themselves the thought that it isn't over and that basically everyone was lying to them for the last 24 hours. However, there's been some pretty big developments, not only from the Trumps, but also from the Trump administration that could signal an absolute top that is beyond what all of us could imagine. So we're going to break down some key charts. We're going to let you know exactly what came out of the White House today, and it's pretty freaking bullish. And we're going to get into all the breaking news, everything you need to know to make sure your portfolio is on the move. So with that being said, smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button every day. You know what we're doing, bringing you the latest in crypto so your portfolio is on the move. Right, with that being said, let's get into it. Important just to take some stock of exactly where we are. Look at this. As time and horizons grow, Bitcoin losses fall off. The fact of the matter is, if you hold your Bitcoin for 3+ years, your odds of losing money are basically under 1%. And this absolutely aligns to what we've been talking about. So when everyone's freaking out in the market and everyone's telling you the bull run's over and we're all going to zero, and you got little old me here on this channel going, guys, look, there is way more to come. The market's definitely not finished. Well, look at this. If you basically hold your Bitcoin, generally speaking, you have a 46.9% chance of losing money. Hold it for a month, 42%. Hold it for a year, 23%. But get beyond that, if you're a long-term holder in this game, then you generally do very, very well. And that's why you're seeing a lot of treasury companies, governments, countries, everything else. They understand the power of Bitcoin, I think, and they understand the power of crypto. Now, not every single digital asset is going to make it. That's, beyond reasonable doubt. However, the fact of the matter is the big ones will generally do pretty well. So why is this important? Well, interesting today, there was a big announcement coming out of Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Now, everyone knows Howard pretty bullish on Bitcoin, but he announced plans today to issue US GDP statistics on the blockchain. Listen to this.
Two more things. The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain because you are the crypto president. And we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution. And then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it.
I mean, you'd argue that's pretty freaking bullish. GDP on the blockchain that everyone in the government's going to use, as well as anyone that can track it, is wild. And probably is the first step that we're talking about where we could actually see significant moves here, and more importantly, adoption when it comes to crypto. Now, the big debate on everyone's mind, let me know your thoughts in the comments, is which chain is this going to run on? Is it going to be a private chain? My guess, by the way, I think it could go to Ethereum, or it may even head over to XRPL, which would be pretty crazy if that happens, but this definitely is worthwhile keeping an eye on. And as the Trump administration continue to push Bitcoin adoption, crypto adoption, and more importantly, get involved, then this is a big deal. Aligned to the fact that, well, look, Trump is just set on getting rid of anyone that stands in his way of rate cuts as well, which we know will be pretty bullish for markets. Remember, the money printer, though, is what we really want to see. But he did ultimately get rid of Lisa Cook. I'm sure there's going to be loads of legal battles on the back of it, but you could argue, well, Lisa Cook left and Bitcoin pumped. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the case, but it is important to understand it. So with all of that kind of stuff, Trump positioning who he wants in the Fed to get those rate cuts, now data going on the blockchain. Well, the reality is Donald Trump Jr. is now reportedly investing in Polymarket prediction platform. The reality is now becoming an advisor, which is kind of interesting. And he's now invested tens of millions of dollars in Polymarket, according to the Axios via chain catcher, through no primary confirmation has been offered by involved parties. So you've got the Trumps really bullish on the markets, which again, for me, tells me, well, we are definitely nowhere near the top. We're going way higher and people need to just sit back and relax. The other way to look at this is who is buying Bitcoin. And we've seen this so many times over the course of the last week or the last few months where everyone starts to freak out. They're like, BlackRock selling, it's all going to be ended soon. And the reality is that once the kind of market's cooled off again, well, they generally come back in and buy more Bitcoin. Now, what's interesting is we actually have had 2 positive days of inflows for Bitcoin ETFs. And like we said, BlackRock once again are buying back in. 567 Bitcoin coming back in. But look at ARK21, 1,797 Bitcoin purchased today by Cathy Wood's ARC21. Pretty bullish if you ask me. That, though, pales to insignificance with what else is going on. Kindly MD has now filed for a $5 billion shelf offering with part of its proceeds to be used to acquire more Bitcoin for its treasury. Bullish news indeed. And actually, we're seeing a ton more companies start to get to the forefront of this. So again, this is a big, big issue, and a NASDAQ listed company looking to get $5 billion. Now, that isn't all, by the way. You've got institutions buying crazy amounts of Bitcoin, which is fine. And what you've got, though, is Bitcoin whales dumping Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. Very interesting indeed. And we talked about this the other night, but 968 Bitcoin sold worth $106 million in Hyperliquid, and they went and bought Ethereum. Now, this is one of the smaller buys that we've seen. Actually, we're seeing billions of dollars flowing into Ethereum, as maybe people predict or maybe speculate the fact that maybe this on-chain data coming out of the White House will be on Ethereum. It probably makes sense. But the fact of the matter is, look, Bitcoin is on a nice bounce. We came perfectly off this kind of 108 range, wick down, but look at this support that we got. 109,963, the bottom of the bottle candle here. Very bullish move. I'd be like to see us maybe back above 112 by the close. I'm not sure we're going to get it. However, if we can then continue this through the course of the next 2 days, I think we could be set for a nice move. Retesting this 50-day exponential moving average, the big yellow line here, is going to be a key driver for us. But lots of positive things going on in Bitcoin. Feels like yesterday was a mile away and the market is on the move again. We will definitely get more volatility, but there is billions of dollars flowing into this market. The Trumps are getting involved in everything they can to do with crypto. And finally, the White House and, well, the USA is going to the blockchain. That's pretty bullish if you ask me. So let me know what you think in the comments down below of all of this. As always, thanks so much for watching. Do check out our free Discord as well as all those links, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.